Hello everybody and welcome back. Tia here from Nailed It Hawaii. I'm going to be working on a holiday soap today. I know it's really early, but as most of you soapers know, with the long cure time, we have to get these done as soon as possible. So I have just dumped in my hot lye water into my solid oils and butters, and then I'm going to wait for that to melt down. Once that's melted down, I have my liquid oils here, and I will be adding kaolin clay and colloidal oatmeal, and then blending that up. Then I'm going to combine the two. But until then, I'm just going to go ahead and wait until this melts down. Once it does, I will bring you guys back. Okay, so we are mixed just about to emulsification. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it off. This is going to be a hot chocolate themed soap. So I'm going to do a little bit of a light brown, a dark brown, and then I'm going to do some piping on the top. So with the piping, I'm going to want that to be white. This fragrance oil does discolor, so I am not going to put any fragrance in the piping part. There we go. So this little one here is going to be for the piping. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to color this first so that it can start to set up. Okay, so that color is good. So I'm just going to set this off to the side as I work with the base of the soap. So it's going off. And so this one here is going to be a dark brown. So we're going to do a dark brown and then a light brown. So I'm going to add a little bit of mica to both of these. This bigger one is going to get more mica because I want it to be darker. Okay. And then to this lighter one is going to get a little bit of titanium dioxide to brighten up the color a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and blend these, see how they look, and go from there. Okay, so that's perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in my fragrance oil. This is a hot chocolate fragrance oil. It smells so good. So I'm just going to add that in. I'm going to give it a quick blend. Okay, so now I'm going to set these off to the side, and then I'm going to bring in my molds. Okay, so here are my molds. So I'm thinking I'm going to start with the really dark one, and I think I'm going to get most of it into the molds. I'm going to try and do it as evenly as I can. Sorry if I'm blocking you. Just gonna scrape all this out. Okay, so now I'm going to take my lighter one, and then I'm just going to drop it in, setting up kind of a lot, so it's kind of just laying on top, which works for me. I'm not going to put it all in because I do have some embeds I'm going to stick into the bottom, but right now I'm going to let's see, I'm going to take the back of this little spatula here, and I'm just going to go in and do some swirls just to get the colors to mix a little bit. Okay, so that's good. Just gonna bang these down real quick. Okay, and then I also have these, which kind of look like tofu at the moment, but it's supposed to be little marshmallows. So I'm just gonna stick those in random places. So the reason that I didn't use all of the soap batter is because I'm going to be using this, which is going to add to the volume of soap, and I did not take that into consideration when making my batter. So I'm going to have a little bit of batter left over because these little marshmallows are going to take up space. So I figured just leave some out. Then I'll get these, as much of these pushed in as I can, and then if there's still room, I can just scoop the batter onto the top. These are all types of shapes. I just I had some extra white soap left over from one of my earlier batches, so I put it into little rectangle molds, and then I chopped them up because I knew I was gonna have to use them for my hot chocolate soap. So that's what these are. And these ones, I'm not putting them in any particular order. I do kind of want different shapes once they're cut. So I'm not going to put them all the exact same way. Oops. Once I do have a majority of these in, I'm going to go ahead and push them down a little bit more. I don't even know what happened to this year. It was fine. I felt like it was going slow actually, and then all of a sudden it was just time for holiday soaps, and I'm freaking out because I'm actually kind of behind. I'm not gonna lie, on holiday soaps. So I'm going to have to speed it up, hurry things along if I want to get it all done in time. Okay, I think that's good. Well, let me just add one more here. I'm sure you guys see spots that need some, but looks kind of good to me. I say as I keep adding them in. Okay, so I'm just gonna push them down a tad. If they stick up a little, that's fine. It's really no big deal, but I want a relatively flat work surface because we are going to be piping on top of this. Okay. Just gonna scoop on some of the remainder because this loaf seems to be a tad shorter than the other side in certain places because I'm pretty sure my table is uneven. I think it's like angled to the left, maybe? I don't know, I'm not really sure. I'm just going to kind of smooth this on. I think I'm also going to do some on this one too, just to get it flattened out a little bit. You know, I did work with this fragrance before, and I made some sample soaps to see how it performs. but, and like it performed wonderfully, but I'm thinking because this batch is so much bigger, because I do the heat transfer method and this batch is so much bigger, we're working with significantly higher temperatures at this point. So that's probably why it's not behaving as well as it did in my test. But that's okay. It's very rare that I test fragrances anyway. I usually just go for it. And I think it has maybe like a 70% success rate. Well, maybe like 75% success rate. I should test my fragrances more, the new ones, but I don't. Okay. I think that is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bang these down now. Okay, and so these are now ready for piping. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for that to set up. And once it does, I will be back and we will pipe these guys. Okay, and I'm back to pipe. This piping is nowhere near as set up as it should be, but I'm feeling like patience is not my thing today. And also, because this is hot chocolate and this is supposed to resemble whipped cream, it's not going to be a super huge deal if the piping is a little bit goopy. So I'm just going to go for it. And so far, it seems to be working well. So let's just hope it stays that way and is a little buildable. You know, considering that this soap was not set up enough, or in my opinion, to do the piping, it's actually holding quite well, which I'm loving. And so when I'm piping this top little dollop thing, I'm just kind of holding it in place and squeezing. So the top is, I don't even think you can see that, but the top is getting kind of frilly, which is what I want, because this is supposed to be like fancy whipped cream. I have some mica here, and it does have some glitter in it. The glitter is from Nurture Soap. It is the copper glitter from Nurture Soap. That's what I will be using, and so I'm just gonna pipe some on. I'm not even sure. I mean, it's supposed to look kind of like a chocolate drizzle. I'm not even sure if I was debating in my head if hot chocolate even has caramel on it, and I don't think it does. So I'm not going to be putting like a lighter gold type drizzle on this one. We're just going to go with the full chocolate appeal here. So I'm going to try and pipe some on and make sure every bar is going to have some, but I don't want to overflow it. So I'm trying to go lightly while making sure they all have some chocolate. Okay, and I think that is it. We are all set. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave this to set up for probably about 12, maybe to 18 hours, and then we will be back tomorrow to cut it, and I will see you guys then. Okie dokie, so here are the final bars. We will be back tomorrow to cut it, so I will see you guys at that time. Bye! Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. I am cutting my hot chocolate soap right now. Okay, and there we go. So there's my two little marshmallows, so to speak. And you can tell this brown part is kind of taking on a more yellowish hue, and then so that kind of tells me that it's definitely going to be discoloring more. You can see a little thin layer on the outside that's a slightly darker brown, so I'm thinking that it's all going to discolor to that. But we will have to see. What's kind of interesting to me is it looks like in my little marshmallows there's some glycerin rivers. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up. There's the top. I'm anxious to see what it's gonna look like once the entire bar has fully discolored. I'm thinking what I might do is at the end of this video I will add a photo of the soaps after about a week or two, just so that you guys can see what it ends up looking like. I do think it looks kind of cool with the darker brown outline going on. Okay, and here are the finished bars. There's the tops with the little chocolate swirls. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!